All right, so now is one of the most important parts of the program, and that is meeting our keynote speaker. Let me tell you about Beatriz Manetta. She's an amazing woman. I wish I could tell you her whole resume, but it's so long and so successful that Google it. You're gonna go, oh my gosh. But here's some highlights. So Beatriz started at an early age in the telecommunications business. And first she was with AT&T, where she worked for more than 20 years before launching Argent Associates in 1998. Today, and this is the beautiful part about when you do your own business, Argent Associates is a multi-million-dollar company. But Beatriz is about, giving back to the community. In fact, that's how she honors her parents. I love that about all of you. We need to honor our parents. Oh, and by the way, happy Father's Day to everybody. She mentors, Beatriz loves to mentor college students, and she provides internship opportunities for them. She also mentors new minority and women entrepreneurs, so make sure you look her up. Beatriz is seriously an inspiration, opening doors for others, contributing to our economy. This woman is another true leader, another amazing businesswoman, and a woman with her own vision. Please welcome our keynote speaker, Beatriz Manetta.
Let's do a selfie in front of everybody. Come on.
Oh, we have to do the...
We're doing a selfie, yeah.
Selfish selfie. Wave, everybody. Okay. All right, we got to see the crowd.
Yeah, I know. How do you do that?
Oh,
You have long arms.
All right, I need you guys to wave. If you don't want to be in it, I won't tag you. 3, 2, 1. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Anne. You guys are truly amazing, what you all do. And it truly is an honor and a pleasure to be here today to speak about Immigration Journey Awards. Rebecca, I think, said it fabulously. It's about building foundations. And I know that you all have amazing stories of your own. So I am humbled to be here today, knowing how each of you have had a determined journey that has brought you to where you are today. Congratulations to each of the honorees for this prestigious award. You are amazing. You all need to be recognized for coming this far. So congratulations, everyone. All immigrant journeys begin with a dream of a better life. Each of us came to America leaving what we knew for what we hoped. We traveled great distances. We, both physically and emotionally, to the land of opportunity, which we now call home. We brought our knowledge, talents, skills, passions to make a better life for ourselves, our families, and our communities. To share with you a bit of my story and my journey is indeed a privilege for me to honor my parents today. My story is not so much different from any of you here in the audience. We have all struggled to find our way to our new home. We had to overcome the silliness of biases and social hostilities, the struggles to put food on the table, the challenges to finding ourselves in a new land and/or finding careers. No matter how you got here, whether it was walking across the border, endured the trepidations of boat travel, turbulence of a plane, or swam the final miles, each of us has a story to tell. We are all here where we call the United States home. We have made it. We have not only survived, but thrived in our new environment. Congratulations to each of you on your journey this far. My journey began in Argentina. Yes, the land of Juan and Evita Perón. My Argentine, yeah, that's right. The land that once upon a time, had the 7th largest per capita income in the country and in the world. But after Evita died, military coup and an unstable military government brought turmoil for many years. Communism was threatening the world. Che Guevara, a middle-class Argentine turned Marxist, was instrumental in the Cuban Revolution that assisted Fidel Castro, who became Cuba's leader and dictator. There was growth among Argentine revolutionaries attempting to do the same thing in Argentina. Yes, many good ideologies with many unintended consequences. I was born around those years of turmoil and unrest, and my mother and father decided that our family would have a better future if we left Argentina. My father had no idea what our life would be, but he had the courage to bring us here, to pursue the dream for his young family. We were the first generation Argentine in the US. So my parents, my sister and I all boarded a plane with each one suitcases and headed to Miami, Florida. We left Argentina with green cards in hand, our immunization records, and a family who would sponsor us until my mom and dad had found a job. We left behind all our families, my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, my friends, the church, and all that I had known for the 5 years that I had lived there. At the time for me and my family, it could have been the worst time. You come to a country, you don't know the language, different culture, different climate, and a vague understanding of what was to become of the United States in those years. After we landed in Miami, we boarded a bus headed to New York, where our sponsored family was going to meet us. It was the early 60s in the South, and we were about to experience our first real taste of our new country. The bus was packed with people. An elderly black woman boarded the bus, and my father, being the gentleman and the way we were raised in South America, gets up and lets the woman sit. While yelling and screaming ensued at my father. What could possibly be wrong? He was confused. He knew that they were yelling at him for something that he did. He had no idea what he had done. We even understood that we were being threatened, but did not know why. Finally, thank God, there was a rider on the bus who happened to speak Spanish, and he informed my father that it was against the law for him to give up his seat to a black person. What? The land of the free? The Spanish bus riders explained to my dad and mom the laws of the South. It was a first taste of discrimination and the racial problems that engulfed our new country. But it was a lesson for me that would stick with me throughout my upbringing. It would set the tone of how I view the world. Society holds beliefs that sometimes conflicts with our conscience, and somehow we have to have the courage to speak. And those who know me know that I like to speak. It was the 60s that we had racial riots, college campuses erupting about the Vietnam War, the civil rights movement, and the Hispanic Chicano movement that were all intertwined at the time. Yet, in the midst of all this turmoil, amazing scientific and art developments were taking place in our country. The first man walked on the moon. Touch-tone telephones, for those of you who remember those. Cassette tapes, 8-track were developed. The Beatles had landed in New York, and Bob Dylan was becoming a music icon. Our bus took us to Rahway, New Jersey, a little town of about 25,000 people that was near Manhattan and Staten Island. We lived with our sponsor family for a few months, although it seemed like years with these people. My parents worked, finally got a job in manufacturing in Elizabeth, New Jersey, and they worked for Colorform, making those, they were machine operators making the plastic form figurines that I think they still have them today, I'm not sure. But we lived in a one-bedroom apartment, and my parents and my sister and I did go to Catholic school. Like many of you, my sister and I became the translators for our parents. We learned to read and speak English and learned the customs of our new culture so we could translate and explain to our parents what was happening. But my parents struggled in our new environment. They had to make ends meet, paying for our apartment, school, food, and clothing. My mom at one point wanted to go back to Argentina. The American dream and where we were located didn't seem any better than the turmoil in Argentina. In Argentina, she understood the language. She had extended family that she knew she could count on. Here, it was only the 4 of us, and we were way too young to even help them and and help them to even acclimate with the culture. I don't exactly remember how my sister and I made it to school every day, but we did. However, the streets of Elizabeth were riots between the Puerto Ricans and the blacks. Shooting occurred, gangs on both sides, and I do remember jumping into a 5 and dime store until all the shooting stopped. Eventually, life became normal, and my sister and I began to adjust, to discover the power of learning and understand the language and culture that surrounded us in the industrial town. My mom and dad adjusted with us. They worked very hard to survive and give us a better life. They were able to save enough money to buy their first car, I'll never forget it, a green Rambler. What I do know about being an immigrant in a country is that we understand hard work. I have a friend from another country who has spent many years here and didn't understand that there were no such thing as weekends. Working 7 days a week, and weekends were about maybe having coffee breaks and enjoying family life. As an immigrant, as an entrepreneur, or anyone trying to get ahead, working hard is a way of life. That concept, the rest and weekends, can be foreign even today. I didn't expect anything to be given to me. I watched my mom and dad work hard and knew that if I wanted things and wanted a better life, it would have to occur, and I would have to be the one that would work to do it. My mom had 2 jobs. She worked and walked a Singer sewing machine after she left Color Form. And there she was a machine operator and fed and helped us to complete our homework, and also had a second job, cleaning homes. So she was a little 411 speed machine, as I called her. She talked fast, she cleaned fast, she did everything fast. And I think that's what makes me today. My parents were also strong proponents of the power of education. They came to America and insisted their children reach the American dreams. I took that lesson to heart, and education is the foundation of my success. Fast forward through the years of attending school, I was very active in school. Head of cheerleader, involved in school activities, basketball. My parents never came to a game, but I knew that I enjoyed doing that, keep myself busy and out of trouble. So that was what we learned to do and how to achieve it. By the time I was in high school, I had figured out a lot. I wanted nice things, and I knew my mom and dad couldn't afford to buy them. So all the things I wanted, I had to work for them. I had lots of part-time jobs, including operating an ice cream truck, handling concessions at Englishtown Raceway Park in New Jersey, selling t-shirts and beer. For most of my adult life, before I started my business, I worked 2 jobs and worked full-time and went to school at night. I did both my bachelor's and my master's degree working at night through tuition A through the company that we spoke about, AT&T, that helped me achieve my dream. So I went to college, and I worked in corporate America for 20 years, as Rebecca said, rising from secretary to director of international sales in the Middle East and then Latin America, before venturing to start my own business. How did I end up directing sales in the Middle East? Well, first of all, lesson number 1 that I leave you. What makes leader is a decision to own the results of the cards that life deals you. While in corporate America, I returned to work for maternity leave. My old job was no longer available, so I was asked to support the Middle East country desk. I'm an immigrant from Argentina who grew up in New Jersey. What do I know about the Middle East? I'm Latina. Why not Latin America? Well, the only job that was available was the Middle East country desk assignment, so I decided I can do this. I became very good at that assignment. I made many new international friends. I learned the business that overrides cultural norms and stereotypes. To this day, my Middle Eastern friends are still partners with me, and we do business together after, I think it'll be another 20 years since I own my company, so we're still doing business together. So the push that propelled me into entrepreneurial work occurred behind the dreaded word downsizing. I shrugged it off and decided to go and be an entrepreneur. That's right, no money, no employees, and no system. Nothing but an idea. I bounced the idea off my previous boss and asked if he would support me. I didn't want handouts, but opportunities to bid on projects. He said yes, and then Argent Associates was formed. I worked hard and saved my money so I could expand the business. I worked from my home on a pool table that served as my desk and conference table. I had 2 small children, but I still managed to be a cheerleading coach. My daughter asked me, "Ma, we don't have cheerleaders, would you do that?" And I said, "All right, yeah, I'll do it," while I'm still trying to launch my business. How could you say no to your children, right? And here I stand today with 2 system integration companies. I have Argent Associates, which is the company I originally formed in 1998, and I have a second company called Associar LLC. Both are technology driven. One is national, which is Argent, and the other is global in scope. I believe where I am today is directly related to the focused energy my parents instilled in me years ago. I have learned to play the cards that I was dealt. Through my professional journey, I've learned that hard work, knowledge, relationships, and energy can catapult your plans from an idea to reality. As one of my friends would say, energy can put legs on those dreams. If I can leave you with just 3 things to think about as you continue your journey, whether you're an entrepreneur or work within a business or organization or launching your career, these are the 3 things I like to leave you. Attitude is altitude. You can go far and as high as you think you can. Don't let the cards you've been dealt determine your end point. They are just the beginning of a continuous journey full of ups and downs that everybody faces. Success comes from learning from the downs and to keep getting up. Never stop learning. Most people who know me know that I have a high amount of energy, constantly researching, reading, evaluating, and collaborating to find new and more prosperous ways to move my business and others forward. More precisely, working strategically harder and smarter can make the difference between a temporary setback or a glowing, thriving business direction. If I have learned anything on my journey so far, it is life is ever-changing, and you must learn to adapt to the changes. Change is neither good nor bad, but it is better to embrace change before it embraces you. Continually learning from others can ease that journey. And lastly, don't forget to give back, because it's not all about you. That incident on the bus when my family first arrived to the country pointed out that life is not always fair. But through caring and courage, we can help level the playing field for all our members in our communities. Only we can make life better for all. As the great Mahatma Gandhi once said, be the change you want to see in the world. Let your immigrant journey be the light showing others the way. Thank you, and God bless.